Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, restaurant owner charged with shooting man in left buttock. A 41-year-old restaurant owner is to appear in court tomorrow as he is charged with allegedly shooting man in the butt during an argument in St. Andrew. The St. Andrew Central Police are charging 41-year-old Damian Douglas of Tavern Crescent with wounding with intent, using a firearm to commit a felony, and discharging a firearm in a public place. The Matilda's Corner Police report that at about 1:21 p.m. on Monday, April 14, Douglas and the man were involved in an altercation, during which Douglas allegedly pulled his licensed firearm and fired shots at him, hitting him. The cops were summoned, and upon their arrival, the man was seen suffering from a gunshot wound to the butt. The man was taken to the hospital where he was treated and admitted. Douglas was arrested after turning himself into the police on Tuesday, April 22. He was subsequently charged following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. He is scheduled to appear before the St. Andrew Parish Court on April 25. Jamaican allegedly caught shoplifting in New York, now in ICE custody. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has detained a Jamaican man who is in the country illegally after he was arrested and charged for shoplifting on Monday. Ramika Campbell, 27, of a Queens, New York address, was arrested after he was caught stealing merchandise from Macy's at the Green Acres Mall in Valley Stream, according to Nassau County Police. He reportedly concealed the items in a shopping bag and walked out of Macy's without paying, police said. He was arrested without incident after being stopped by loss prevention officers and handed over to lawmen. Campbell was charged with grand larceny, criminal possession of stolen property, false impersonation, and petty larceny. Further investigation revealed that Campbell had also stolen from Forever 21, located in the same mall. He reportedly gave police false information about his identity. Campbell had an outstanding warrant of removal from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, meaning an immigration judge had already determined that he was in the country illegally and ordered his deportation. After being released on an appearance ticket, Campbell was detained by ICE agents. Man's body found in water tank with electrical cord around his neck. The St. Elizabeth detectives are investigating the death of a man whose body was found in a water tank with a piece of electrical cord around his neck. Dead is Garfield Barnes, otherwise called Polly, of Stephen Run District in Nain, St. Elizabeth. Reports are that about 5:45 p.m. yesterday, Barnes' body was observed floating in the water tank in the community. The body was removed from the tank for a post-mortem. The Nain police are also investigating the matter. Witness insists accused the cop asked him to keep a secret. There were more questions raised Wednesday about the credibility of the Crown's eighth witness in the trial of 3 cops before the court in connection with the fatal beating of Maria Dean while in police custody in 2014. Corporal Elaine Stewart, District Constables Marlon Grant, and Juliana Cleveland are charged with manslaughter and misconduct in a public office. On Wednesday, attorney Dalton Reed, who is representing Cleveland, attempted to pour cold water on testimony the witness gave last week. The witness had told the court that Cleveland asked him not to tell investigators from the Independent Commission of Investigations about what he had seen on the day Dean was beaten. Reed argued that the conversation could not have taken place as Cleveland left with the ambulance that transported Dean to Cornwall Regional Hospital and did not return. "Let me put it to you that you could never have seen her," stated Reed. The witness insisted that Cleveland returned on the day of the incident but was unable to say what time. During cross-examination, Reed also suggested to the witness that despite his claim in his earlier testimony, there is no such a thing as an unsound mind cell. But the witness said the lawyer's suggestion was incorrect. Reid then suggested that the 4 people in cell 4 were not mentally ill, but were poor people without a family support. The suggestion is that there were no sanitary products, and I mean soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, and so on. No bathing rags, no change of clothes, and in general, only the food that is offered by the government is the only thing that they have around there. In fact, there was a poor section at the Barnett Street police station, stated Reid. I don't know if they get any of those things you are talking about. I am not sure, replied the witness. During cross-examination, the witness was also shown images and a video from Barnett Street police station where the incident took place. Martin Thomas, the lawyer representing Stuart and Grant, later attempted to have the images entered into evidence, but the presiding judge, Justice Courtney Day, ruled against this on the basis that it did not fall within the principles of the 1976 R versus Peter Blake appeal case. Meanwhile, a second appearance on the stand by Dean's mother, Mercia Fraser, failed to take place after lunch on Wednesday as expected. She is now scheduled to retake the stand on Friday. Fraser's first appearance was March 6 when she gave emotional testimony during the long-awaited start of the trial. The allegations in the case are that Dean was arrested for possession of a ganja spliff and placed in custody where he was brutally beaten on August 3, 2014. He sustained severe injuries to his brain, which left him in a coma. He died 3 days later at the Cornwall Regional Hospital in St. James. It is alleged that the 3 cops were on duty at the police station when Dean was beaten. It is further alleged that Stuart, who has an additional charge of perverting the course of justice, instructed that the cell in which the attack took place be cleaned before the arrival of investigators from Indicom. The trial has adjourned until 9 a.m. on Friday, April 25. Preserve farmlands, former JAS president urges government. Immediate past president of the Jamaica Agricultural Society, Lenworth Fulton, is again calling for the government to preserve farmlands in light of the accelerating global trade wars. Mr. Fulton says now more than ever, the government must rely on its own powers and resources.
I see where we could grow 10,000 acres of corn. Corn have been tested in Jamaica by Pioneer Seed Company, and sorghum has been tested here by Pioneer Seed Company as well, and it was successful. But we have to have the resolve, and we have to plant them on lands that can be mechanized. So it is possible. Well, the farmer sugarcane lands, they are now talking about housing for Innswood. Innswood could be used. A lot of the lands that are in Westmoreland, Frome, in South Trelawney, the lands that used to feed the Monmouth Sugar Company, could be done. In Hanover, you have major tracts of land that used to feed Frome, and all over you have lands. In St. Elizabeth, the lands that used to feed the Holland Estate, those lands are there, and they are grade 1 agricultural lands with irrigation. We can put them to better use.
Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.